as they just walk away, Thomas Franks is looking round at them, I think, in a bit of disbelief. And it was an example of if I'd been the manager, I would have been really angry about that because it was humiliating for Franks when two of his players just walked past him, deliberately shunning his high five. So quite what the ups. I mean, they to be fair, the players apologised, but if I've been Thomas Franks, for me the damage would have been done. No, I'd be a bit of an Alex Ferguson on there. If someone did that to me, particularly so soon after I joined the club, but anyway, I would say the same. They'd be on their way out of the club. They would, and
Mm.
it's easier to say that if they're key players, of course. But I know Alex Ferguson had sometimes. I remember one player, Jaap Stam, Dutch defender, a very good Dutch defender. He
Mm.
brought out his book, his autobiography, and he criticised Ferguson while he was still playing. Well, within a week or two, he'd gone, even though he was a key defender. And you should never humiliate a manager like that,
Yeah.
because once you get away with that, that kind of other players notice that, and that's not healthy. But anyway, I digressed a bit.
Mm.
But yeah, I think Manchester United, they seem to be picking up a bit now, don't they? They're doing quite
Yeah.
well this season, and to get a very late goal like that on the weekend was a great finish for them, and a bit of a blow to Tottenham, obviously.
Yeah. I mean, they had a wobbly start in Manchester United during the um, first few games, really. Even in the Carabao
Yeah,
Cup, got knocked out by Grimsby,
yeah,
but it seemed to be
yeah.
it
They've
seemed
picked up a bit, haven't they?
yeah,
They've
it seemed to be
definitely
seemed
picked
to be
up.
picking up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now there was a worrying development between the match uh, in the match between Bournemouth and Aston Villa, I think it was, where
Yeah, Villa and Bournemouth.
um,
Yeah.
yeah, where the I think it was two Bournemouth players actually that had a head-to-head collision.
Mm,
Um,
they did.
and I think I've got their names here: Tyler Adams and Adam Smith. Now, do we know if do we know anything about them? Yeah, because it had to be stretched out, didn't it? One of the now I can't remember which one of
Yeah.
them had to stretch it out. I think one of them had to be.
No, it was a nasty collision. It
It
was a
was.
nasty collision. I
It
saw
was.
it,
Was a
but
nasty one.
obviously when that one of them's taken off on a stretcher, you've got to be a bit worried about it. But
Yeah,
I've heard or read nothing since then. So, I mean, these things do happen, of course, and
yeah,
hopefully 99 times out of 100 or more, players recover fine. But they can have concussion and often miss the next game, even if it's a week later.
yeah.
But yeah, you wouldn't want to inflict an injury like that on yourself or on anybody else. But I
No,
don't know how they are now. I look at it that no news is good news. If they had been struggling or a problem, I think we would have
we've heard
they
something.
would have said something about
Yeah,
that. So I'm
yeah,
sure they're fine.
yeah. That's good. Yeah, that's just good. I would be worried that when that happened. Now. Harvey Elliott is a player that I've actually admired because in the England under 17, I think it was the under 17, under 21, one of those tournaments anyway. It was a Euros, which we won,
We do.
which we did win. Now he was spectacular. It was really really good in that match, and I thought he's got a great future with
Mm.
Liverpool. But then they had to go on loan to Aston Villa, didn't he? Now, there's something that I'm reading, and I read it actually from the that I'm reading, and I read it actually from the it was from a Liverpool, I think it was the Echo, Liverpool Echo, and apparently there is speculation that they might be wanting to recall him back. from loan from Aston Villa, and rightly
Mm.
so. The guy is sensational. Now, what do we make of that news, or of the player, actually?
Yeah, well,
I,
I'm not remotely surprised because Liverpool, as we know, are not having the best time of it at the moment. Just to repeat what we said, they've lost five out of
mm,
their last six Premier League games, which is, I mean, I don't know when that last happened. It's got to be a good few years ago, I would have thought.
mm,
And there's been one or two other records, negative records, that they've broken along the way as well, going back some years. But I can see, as you say, I can see the wisdom in trying to get him back if they're doing that, because for a young player, he's a diamond, really. He's
it
just
is.
so good. I
It
mean,
is.
in a strange sort of way, he always did remind me a bit as he came on as like a super sub. He
Mm,
always reminded me a little bit of Diogo Jota, God rest his soul.
mm,
In the same way, he would come on, would Elliot, and he has almost an immediate impact. And what is impressive about him, I think, is he's another very short fellow, isn't he? He's a little guy,
it
but
is.
he's got something about him. Can't necessarily define it, but he's got an unerring ability to make the killer pass or to score the goal, to uplift the team, to be the classic impact sub, which is what I think he is. And when you think how Liverpool are struggling a bit at the moment in different parts of their team, we know that Salah isn't, firing on all cylinders. As is the case with some of the others. We said Wirtz as well, maybe for other reasons, but they're not doing it really in the way that we're used to for Liverpool. So yeah, I guess a manager's eventual thought will be, well, who have we got out on loan?
Mm,
Let's have him back to you know try and lift us, to try and be that impact sub, or even to start the game.
yeah.
So I wouldn't be at all surprised if they do that, probably much to Villa's chagrin, to their annoyance, really, perhaps, because they know when they're onto a good thing
Yeah.
with an excellent young player. As you say, he's got a real future ahead of him, and
Yes.
certainly, I mean, he is English, isn't he? In the course, he was in the young Euros,
Yes.
and yeah, we want him for our senior team as well in the future.
We
He's just one
do.
of those guys who's got something about him which you can't say, well, he's a brilliant dribbler, he's a brilliant header. Probably not a brilliant header, as he's relatively short.